Well, today on the channel, we have got, as always, a ton of information about the Appalachian Trail and the thru hikers that are out there on the trail. We've got first-person hiker reports. We've got a missing hiker. We got hiker rescues, and we got trail closures due to something other than trees. Well, not exactly other than trees, but still not. Well, let's just keep going, and you'll see here in just a minute. All right, so let's talk about who's out there on the trail. So Tie-Dye, he sends in his update.
Greetings, Ramdino and all your viewers. My trail name is Tie-Dye. I'm on day 41 of my thru hike, and I have made it to mile 416. I wanted to send my my update at this particular location. Ramdino, you may recall this root ball that we worked on. Back in December, you and I worked on this root ball together. Remember, we carried that log. It was probably 150, maybe 200 yards up the trail, but it felt like 300 miles. It was so heavy. Anyway, I thought you would enjoy seeing the root ball where we worked. Take care. Bye.
So that was awesome to see the root ball that he's already passed the root ball that he and I worked on up there when I went up and did some trail work with the Tennessee Eastman Hiking Club up there. So that was awesome, Tie-Dye. I see you're doing great out there on the trail, meeting lots of people and having a great hike. Alpha Gal, he sends in his update. He has passed the Roan near mile marker 400 and sent in this report.
Hey Ramdino, it's Alpha Gal coming up on 19E. Pretty close to mile 400. Boy, Little Hump and Big Hump, I think, are my favorite hikes of the trail so far. The views have just been unbelievable. The trail is beautiful, and man, sunshine and everything's great. So yeah, the reroute, bypass, whatever you call it there, that's 6 miles of not too bad trail, except for one part coming up from one of the roads. It's wicked super steep. I'm not sure what they were thinking, but yeah, be careful on that, especially if it's wet. Other than that though, yeah, crews did a good job clearing the path, and it's been pretty much obstacle free north of the Smokies. It's been nice. Catch you up the trail.
So Roan is my favorite section so far on the trail. Close second is Grayson Highlands, but I love the Roan Mountain Highlands. It's something out of the sound of music. But anyhow, Moose Liver, Hickory Nut, and Bebop, they have met the Cookie Lady, and so that means they are north of Hot Springs. So Moose Liver is kind of hiking, kind of running support. So this is her 6th time trying to complete the trail, and so at this point she's going back and hiking and finishing up portions that she didn't finish up before, and then also in the meantime she's doing trail magic and supporting some folks that are hiking Hickory Nut and Bebop there. So that is awesome. So they're north of Hot Springs, and that means they're heading into Irwin. Tree, he's on trail, and he started at Springer. Catwoman has made it on trail and made it to Neal's Gap and sends in her update.
Hello everybody, Catwoman here. Sorry I forgot to send in my video update last week. First week out was tough. It took me 11 days to get here to Neal Gap, but I eventually got here, and every day is getting better. I'm still doing very low miles, 3 to 5, but the secret sauce is you just don't quit. You just keep walking. So I'm just going to keep walking. Stayed here at the hostel last night. They are amazing. They're magical. Got a pack shakedown today. Have been hanging out with all kinds of people, and everything is fantastic. So just want to let y'all know I'm still alive. I'm still plugging along. Anybody who feels like it can follow me on YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook at Catwoman Hikes, and that is Catwoman with a K. Bye.
And Chaplin on the AT, he has made it out of Georgia. Congratulations to him. He sends in a report.
Well, Randino, praise the Lord. The chaplain on the AT made it to North Carolina. Took him 12 days. Only 1 0 day, which means I'm not moving very fast, but I'm moving. And as everybody passes me, there's one thing they don't know. The last one to Katahdin wins.
And then we got Indy. Indy is starting at Amicalola Falls State Park.
Hey Ramdino, I'm getting ready to start my thru hike attempt of the AT, going Nobo, starting at Amicalola Falls in late March. My name's Mike. My trail name is Indy. I live in North Carolina, and I've sectioned from Georgia to the beginning of Virginia so far, but now it's time to try the whole thing in one shot. I'm also trying to raise money for those affected by Hurricane Helene in western North Carolina by raising money for Manna Food Bank in the Asheville area. I did post that link in your support list, so folks can find that link there and make a donation and help out those in western North Carolina. I'm looking forward to the hike. I will check in with you along the way, and I want to thank you for everything you do. Thanks.
And then new to the channel, we've got Freelance. So Freelance is a 70-year-old lady, and she is hiking, going to do her through hike, and she sends in this update.
Good morning, Ramdino. This is Helly, trail named Freelance, and I'm talking to you from the top of Wyatt Bald at sunrise. The trail's been a bit snowy at times, very cold at times, and absolutely lovely at times. I'll send you some still photographs with this video. Thank you for all you do, but I will do my best to do better in future videos. The treadway is beautiful in this part of the trail, and there are some blowdowns, but nothing you can't get over. Hike on, everybody, and hello to everyone in Sacramento, my loved ones, Klaus, Sacramento Fit Running Club. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
And she is north of the Knock and somewhere around the Fontana area. The Kentucky Gas Boys, Papa Bear, and Nature Beast, they have made it through the devastation zone, and they went ahead and took the whole trail. So they didn't take the detour there at Iron Mountain Gap. They have taken the whole trail. So they said that actually that it was fine, actually better than other parts of the trail. So that's pretty amazing, since some of it still has giant trees, several trees high in some places stacked across the trail. But glad they got through. The only section that was impassable was the last 0.4 of a mile at Iron Mountain Gap, which they road walked. So we're going to talk about that road walk and talk about that and how it works with the ATCs and the official reroute around that area here in just a minute. So stand by for that. Rodney Huey, he is Nobo, and he is currently doing the Hot Springs to I-40 section. He said two hikers just passed him and told him there was a young bear somewhere around the Groundhog Creek shelter, which is mile 249, and indicated that one of the two tent sites at Deep Gap there was successful in a bear got into somebody's earth sack there. And so, a lot of people buy these earth sacks and they say you can just tie them up and tie them to a tree and put them somewhere. But I have found that not being the case. Bears can defeat that. They're supposed to be made out of something that the bears can't, but I have seen many reports of bears ripping through those things. So you need to even if you got an earth sack, you need to hang it. And in this case, the bears did get that. And so that's bad on two fronts. One, these hikers are doing without food. And two, now we got another bear that knows he can defeat an earth sack that's just laying on the ground. And they're going to do it all the time. So now we've trained another bear. Rodney says the trail looks good. Minimal blowdowns on the trail between Hot Springs and south of Max Patch. So that is awesome. And then we've got Riley and Van Gogh. They have made it to the Knock. They say days have been mostly warm along with some cold evenings. They should be in the Smokies by now. Of course, Riley is his four-legged fur friend, and Riley cannot hike through the Smokies, so Van Gogh will have to do without him for a couple days or 5, 6 days, however long it takes him to get through, do the dog limitations there in the Smokies. Recon, he is Sobo from last year, but he had to get off once we had the hurricane came through because of all the trail closures, and he is back on trail at Chestnut Nog and Burke's Garden, and he is finishing out his Sobo.
Good morning, Ramdino, and as promised, Recon here with an update to video. I am at Burke's Garden. It is March 24th. So I got off here December 3rd because of trail closures, and pretty awful winter weather. I'm now back and spent the night here at Brooks Garden and will continue my southbound through hike. It's raining, it's 45 degrees, and the perfect day to start hiking again. So thank you for your attention. Please follow me on YouTube at Recon Hikes, and I will give you updates as I go. So for now, Semper Fi and Recon out.
And then we got 2 updates from Luscious, who is our northernmost hiker that we are currently tracking and is currently updating us on a regular basis. So take it away, Luscious.
Hello, Ram Dino. Luscious here. I'm crossing the historic James River on the footbridge. And since Stanimal's 328 is still closed for the season, I'm going to stay over at the shelter in Glasgow, pick up my resupply box at the post office, hit Scotto's for pizza, and then I'm going to rent a car and go surprise my family with a weekend visit. Shh, don't tell them. All right, I'll check in again next week. Luscious out. Hello, Ramdino. Luscious here. I'm hailing from Humpback Rock's picnic area, where due to the local wildfire jumping its containment perimeter, they've closed the AT from here to Rockfish Gap right when I'm trying to go through it. What are the odds? I have impeccable timing, so I guess I'm gonna get a shuttle into Waynesboro a day early. That's about all I have to report. I'm grateful that the ATC somehow, I don't know if they're notifying everybody on the whole trail, but I'm the lucky one who it's affecting today, and here comes my shuttle driver, so talk to you next time.
That's awesome to hear. Sounds like he is just having a blast, and he did say, queried him again, and he did say that he is still out there hiking by himself, not really seeing anybody but section hikers out there. And then Drifty, Cobbs, and Tank, they're on trail, and they made it to the 100-mile mark and sent in their intro video.
Hey, Ramdino, Team Bearbait here, Drifty, Compass.
Tank.
So we're here at Amacola Falls. We got in through the storm and made it here safely, and we are going to be stepping off shortly. We got our tags.
It's official.
Very official.
Very
very exciting.
Very exciting.
If you would like to follow our journey, we will provide the YouTube link, and we want to thank you, Ramdino, for everything you do. We love watching your updates, and we'll continue to watch all updates as we go through our own hike.
Definitely.
Thanks, Ramdino.
Thank
we appreciate
you.
It.
Bye.
Bye.
Straps OG in Boston, they have made it to Damascus, and they send in an update.
Hey, Ramdino, I'm here with OG Boston and me, Straps. We're just outside of Damascus. We'll be in Damascus tomorrow. I want to let you know the trail is very, very well managed from all the way to Springer to here. Yep, it's been a good trail. The trail maintainers have done an awesome job from the blowdowns, and we thank them a lot. So 3 of us out.
And Vago and Robin, who are now known as Zen and Fraggle, they have made it to North Carolina. So very cool. Then we got Jeff and Mary Anderson. They've been updating us every week, and they have now morphed into Edemus and Skates, and they send in their update.
Hey, Ramdino, Jeff and Mary Anderson here, a.k.a. Firestarter and Skates. We just left the Shenandoahs. We're heading to Rockfish Gap right here. Gonna spend a few days in Waynesboro. Just want to let you know that the Shennies are in pretty good shape. There's a fair amount of blowdowns, especially the southern section. Seems like nobody's been there for a while. So anyway, thanks for all you do. Take care.
And then Papa didn't send a video in this week, but he is north of the Settlers Museum, and he wanted folks to know the trail is pretty dry, meaning water sources are pretty dry after you leave the Chestnut Knob Shelter, which is right after the Grayson Highlands area. Right after you leave that you got a big pull up there after you cross the creek, which is a ford, by the way. And then you got a big pull up to Chestnut Knob. So after you leave Chestnut Knob, which overlooks Burke's Garden, there is very dry water sources for the next 10 miles. And then the Lookout Hostel up in Pennsylvania, they are starting to see their first Nobo hikers come through. So Chia stayed there a few days ago, and he started February 6th. So I know we got people that started in January. Not exactly sure if Chia is just hammered down up there or what the story is with that. But in any case, they are starting to see their first Nobo. So we got hikers from our support list that are starting next week. And of course, we've got less than we had before because, as we've discussed before, and we'll in just a minute, there's less people starting the trail now. But those that are starting from our support list are Flounder, Shuttle, Maple Leaf, Fog, C Squared, Laura B. Strong, Dust, Kanga, Rev, Nutty Hiker, and Suspenders, Ernie Cornwell, Jim Annabelle, Tina Ditzler, Haven Rhonda, and Aaron, or Haven Rhoda and Aaron. So all those folks that are starting, a couple flip-floppers in there, a couple Nobo, but they'll be starting this upcoming week. So good to hear from all those folks there. If you want to be a part of the channel and send me your updates, you can first go sign up for the support list. The link to do that is down below. And if you're one of the hiker community wanting to follow people, the link to the support list is down below where you can go and find people in their social media. And then you can send me, if you're a hiker out there and you want to be part of the updates, then you can send me your 30-second video or selfie or just whatever you want to send us in each week. Send it to me on Wednesday or Thursday. Works best so that I can go ahead and get scripted and be ready to go for filming and get this out in time for Sunday. If you want to send me your updates, you can do that through my email that's down below. Instagram Messenger works really well, and so does Facebook Messenger work really well. Now, as we talked before, registrations and hikers getting on trail, those are starting to wane, and they're going down from now. So, the bubble is in the Smokies or coming into the Smokies, but there's quite a bit of folks in the Smokies now, and actually on the other side as well. So that's kind of where the bubble's situated. The trail is going to be maxed out April 1st. That's a traditional day for it to be maxed out. Every year it pretty much maxes out April 1st, and then it really drops off after April Fool's Day there. So looking forward to all those folks getting on trail that we mentioned before and hearing their updates. So the news we got out there on the trail. So we have a trail emergency. We have a missing former hiker. So an individual, his name, don't have his name right in front of me right now, but he's a dementia patient. He was at a facility in Abington, Virginia, which Abington, Virginia is on the end of the Creeper Trail. So the Creeper Trail starts above Damascus on White Top Mountain, and then it comes down into Damascus and then continues on into Abington. Well, he left his facility, and he is a dementia patient, and so they don't know where he is right now. They feel like he may be heading to Damascus because he is familiar with Damascus, and the easiest way for him to get to Damascus is on the Creeper Trail. So he very well may be doing that coming into Damascus. So any hikers out there that see him, of course, he was a hiker, got on the Appalachian Trail. He could be there somewhere like that, but here is a picture of him in case you see him out there. Please, if you find him, try to stick with him. Try to get him to stick around. Call 911. Let the authorities know that you are with him, and please stay with him till somebody gets there to look after him. And then the pedestrian bridge there at McAfee parking lot to get you across the highway to the other side has been finished and is now open. So that's a footbridge, and it's also part of the official route of the Appalachian Trail. But that was a very dangerous crossing. It's like playing Frogger out there. And I probably, that kind of dates myself, the game Frogger, when we all used to put a quarter in a video game at the arcade to play Frogger. But anyway, so that's been finished. I don't recall anybody being hit there or anybody being killed or anything, but it's very dangerous crossing, and glad they did that. And there are several crossings that are dangerous like that have very fast traffic coming out of a blind curve there. So there's a couple other ones that hopefully I know up in Virginia. There's another one there at Black Bear, I believe it's Black Bear Hostel, that's run by the ATC. There's one in the works to put across that highway there as well, and that's kind of in the middle of the roller coaster. So, but that's open. So go up there, enjoy that, enjoy the safety of getting across there. And then Whispers, our northern correspondent, he sends in that the spring freeze thaw is here. So they are going to be having some mountains and higher elevations, going to be getting some snow this weekend. But this is kind of a time of year when it freezes over and you can walk on it, and then it thaws out during the day and you break through it. So there's been several rescues up there that have happened. There's still freezing rain that's going over. Two recent rescues up there of folks that went in that were actually kind of prepared. Of course, if you have to be rescued, you're not fully prepared. And then SAWS, which stands for the Southern Appalachian Wilderness Stewards. So they're the group that goes into wilderness areas and maintains the trail with manual crosscut saws and single saws and loppers and stuff in the wilderness areas where mechanized equipment is not allowed. And so they cleared the Big Laurel Wilderness and the Pond Wilderness area there in Tennessee, and they are done. They're through. So there was some issues that they may not be done, and they may have to bring some mechanized equipment in April, but they got done before the deadline of April 1. So awesome to you. I think the guy that is in charge of that's name is Scotty. So good job, Scotty. They got through. They did have some funding that came in. Not sure where that came from, but some funding did come in, and they were able to hire some folks that other crews that came in from long distance away and get some more manpower up there and make that happen. So appreciate that, SAWS. And then the other clubs out there, they're working on their areas. I know Tennessee Eastman, they are just been, they were wiped out from all the sawing that they did, but they are still out there on the trail. They're still taking volunteers for people to come and help them. The volunteers have kind of waned a little bit. They're not getting as many. Before they were getting like 20 and 30, and they were able to split up in groups, and now they're just into teens. So if you're still interested in that, then go to the Tennessee Eastman Hiking Club, and they will give you the number of the person to call. Matter of fact, I'll leave that down below where you can find that as well. And they will be glad to have you to come out. They go out at least once a week, maybe twice a week. They've got a lot of root balls to work on. They've still got some trees that now, secondary trees or blowdowns, are coming down from the high winds and stuff and the loose soil. So they still need your help out there. And then the last video, I shared a video, and it was a video from Marty, our Iron Mountain Gap damage correspondent, and he had indicated that this was I had indicated that this was the official route there that he was showing in the video. And so that is not the official route. I was wrong about that. The official route is much longer. The official route is about 6 miles long, and the route that he was showing is pretty much comes off the AT there where they stopped sawing the wood there at Iron Mountain Gap. They've got a salvage operation that's going to be taking place. Nobody knows. One of these days, could be weeks, could be months. They do have 2 people that have placed bids in there, so they're looking to accept those bids, I suppose, and get people mobilized to get in there. But right now, that's not happening. So what he showed you in that video from yesterday, and I encourage you to go back and look at it. It's toward the end. That is a unofficial detour. So you can actually hike all the way up with the exception of 0.7 of a mile. And as we said yesterday and today, there's some people that are getting all the way through, but instead of taking that detour, they are taking this detour there. So that is an unofficial route there, but it's a whole lot shorter, a whole lot easier. The official route takes you on Unaka Mountain Road, and then it takes you across the highway up there and then up to Orchard, and the last little bit on the other side of the highway is 30% grade straight up. Going to be dangerous when it rains, when it gets slick, but that is what has been set up. I am not telling you not to take that. I am not telling you to take the route that is much shorter and much easier. Still, right now most of it's cut through, and where it's not cut through, you have this short reroute to take there, but I'm not telling you to take that, okay? Neither is anybody else. But it's there. So, you know, if somebody gets lost, can't find the first one, there's this one, but don't take that one. So, all right, you get the drift. Any case, I encourage you to go back and take a look at that. That is just a much easier reroute if people decide to do that. But once that those operations start and you start hearing heavy equipment up there, skidders and trucks and bulldozers and stuff, do not go through that area. That would be way, way too dangerous for people to do that. Definitely take the pain in the rear end reroute that they've got up now. If you decide not to take it now, and I'm not telling you not to decide to take it now. Okay. We still got blowdowns in the Smokies. Those are supposed to be starting to get addressed by the Nantahala Hiking Club. They'll be getting in there to some of that in April. Not exactly sure when. April, that is a wilderness area, so they'll have to go in there with manual equipment. That's going to take some while to do it. Maybe Saul's, Scotty and his crew can get in there and help out with that. But in any case, that's not going to be done for April. So the bubble that's going through the Smokies right now, just going to have to deal with it. And we've had several over the past several updates. We've had several videos of people going through there. So there's something like 70 plus blowdowns in the Smokies right now. And then there was a dog found near Pearisburg. So Pearisburg is right there on the Appalachian Trail. So if there's a thru-hiker going through, the dog had a leash, and it is in the Giles County Animal Control. So it didn't have an ID tag, didn't have any type of chip. So if you've lost a dog in that area on the trail, the Giles County Animal Control has that. Normally I don't mention things like that, but you know, I have a soft heart for dogs and animals, but particularly dogs in my heart. So, and for people that lose their dogs. So, that's where that's at. And then the trail is closed there from the Rocks Visitor Center to Rockfish Gap. Right before you get into the Shenandoah National Park on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and that's near Humpback Rock. So that's Nubbo Mile 854 to 865-ish. So that is closed right now due to the last update I received was it's closed due to wildfire dangers. They did get some rain up there, so don't know if they'll open it back up and if they got enough rain for that, but hopefully they will. The Paul Wolf shelter was in danger, so hopefully it got knocked down by the rain that came through there, and everything's going to be cool for that. So like I said, I've had a lot of updates yesterday. Go over here and hit this this playlist. That'll be where you can go and catch up on whatever you left from yesterday and indeed the whole year. They're all over there for you. So go and check that out. And as always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out there.